May 22nd in Burma. The only thing that really has changed since the last placement was the Shad Zoop line. The Chinese made another assault, killed another Japanese unit at high expense in supplies, and took an option to retreat in order to regroup their own units. So you're seeing a much more sparse line. Broad overview, is because I don't know if I've given one in a while. The Imphal section is pretty much stalemated. We have not seen much action anywhere. The 31st Division is pretty much pulling off the road. I think the Japanese have given up there. And over along the railway where the Chindits are, they're entrenched in the city. There was something kind of big this turn. There were airdrops that I had planned, and a bunch of supplies are in there now. So it's going to be a lot harder to starve them out. I'm not sure what the Japanese are going to do about that. Another under consideration. I'm looking at a set of 8-player rules I have that I got off the web. Unfortunately, some of them are in French, so I may look for another set of rules, or I may just try to fiddle through in French. May 26th in Burma. Not a lot moved. Nothing ever seems to. However, the Chinese made an assault on the Japs and were repulsed rather handily, but the Japanese, and this is why their stack is so big, are all low ammo now. They really can't afford to hold this line any longer. They probably should have pulled out last turn just to prevent the stacking problems. But they did repulse and destroy a unit, so there's some value to them fighting, but they do want to maintain something somewhat effective. We're on the Allied side of the turn, just at the end of the 26th, midway through the 26th on the Allied side. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. There's rain started, ground is mud, no air operations, which definitely hinders the Allied attempts to move. However, since they had a disordered unit anyway on the Shad Zoop, they continued their attack. Now, they lost the last Galahad unit doing this, but they broke the line. Questionable return, but we'll see. Beginning of the 29th of May turn, the Shad Zoop line can't withdraw very quickly. So they're leaving units behind in order to try and slow the withdrawal. Looks like I left one way back here, or is that an American guy? I don't know. I think that's Japanese. He shouldn't be there. Boy, he's in trouble. Halfway through the May 29 turn, the Allies went first, and they had some interesting actions, actually. They crossed the river, breaching the line again. Took a big unit loss, a big Chinese unit, but no biggie there. And kind of more interesting, they broke the Japanese here in the mountains, and now the supply road is open to them. The Japs are going to have to do something about that, I think. Beginning of June in Burma, and exciting things are happening on all fronts, actually. The Imphal sector, Japanese are maintaining some presence in the south, but they've realigned their access, no longer looking at the Imphal road, Imphal to Dinamore, and positioned themselves to defend their supply, throwing some tanks in the way. And they also put a unit which is now threatening Imphal directly in sort of a hilarious way, but the Brits will probably respond to it. I mean, no reason to let a raider through. The big old 31st Division has pretty much pulled out. They're still staying close enough to Kohima, though, that they can get some victory points, which means the Brits either have to go hunt them down in the mountains or just concede those points. Let's look over, let's look at what the Chinese are doing, or at least the Japanese on their side. The Japanese have pulled back from the Shazung line down down here to Modang or whatever it is. Mogong. That's not really helping their supply situation. This is all they have left after this turn, replenishing their low ammo. And everything looks like it's out of supply. On a kind of bright front, though, they made a massive assault on the Chindit stronghold in the town. Got a lucky bombardment roll and made an attack. They lost 2 units to 1 Chindit, but the Chindit isn't coming back. Supplies there are okay, but forcing them to fight definitely changes the equation a little